Okay, guys, welcome back. It is Punt Factor here. We're going to be continuing our league with Green White Value Town. Um, yeah, sorry, it's been a hot minute. Typically, I try to record these straight through, but this one I wasn't able to. So we went 2-1 against Dredge, and gonna see what we get paired against. So there's a couple comments about oh, what's the card called? Trying things with Once Upon a Time, things like that. I honestly think Once Upon a Time is going to get banned. I don't like to test cards that are kind of on the watch list. And this hand's horrible. So we're going to go ahead and mulligan this one. This hand looks good. We have... If we rip a land, we have a pretty quick collected company. So I think we want to probably get rid of... Scavenging Ooze is definitely our weakest creature here. It just depends on the matchup, though. It's kind of unfortunate. I probably want to say we'll get rid of Path to Exile. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get rid of Path. There's probably an argument to get rid of one of the creatures because we have Collected Company in hand. Unfortunately, we have to shock that in because we have this Gavany. We don't have another colored source. The only problem with not shipping the Path to Exile is I would have to get rid of the tracker because if we don't rip a land and our bird would get bolted, I wouldn't have a turn 2 play, and that's not where I want to be. Scavenging Ooze in this matchup doesn't matter. But, say we play the Skews, and we're going to go ahead and bog here just because it's a tapped land, and that way we're going to be able to company next turn on their end step. So what we're looking to find is ideally we find a... Okay, there's the Amulet. Ideally we find a Knight. Okay, well that's a good sign, unless this is an Azusa. It feels like an Azusa. And now we kind of wish we would have kept the Path. Yeah, here's Azusa. One more land drop? Yeah. Okay. Well, ask and you shall receive. Okay, so the chances of them hitting a prime time here is pretty huge. So there are two options. I can either play the tracker and hold up Path to Exile. But the problem with that, let me just go ahead and swing. Let's get in for 2. The problem with that is if they don't have prime time, I'm kind of in the same spot next turn where I want to cast Collected Company, but if I don't rip a land, I need to hold Path mana open. But it's more important to get this company out to try to hit Knight. So I think we... Huh. What do we do here? Because we could also hit Night of Autumn to blow up the Amulet. Because at the end of the day, Tracker isn't going to get us there. So I'm going to go ahead and pass turn and hope for being able to cast Collected Company on their end step. Okay, it doesn't look like they have prime time because they definitely would have kept a land drop. I think anyway, if I played this deck for a little bit, I would have kept as many land drops as I could to try to chain Titans. Yeah, I'm okay with this happening. So do we want to just take 3? Yeah, I think that's fine. And I'm waiting to see. Okay, I was gonna say the reason I didn't Coco there. I just wanted to wait to see kind of what else they had going on before I blew this Coco, and that is not what I wanted to see at all. Oh man. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Let's play a tracker out. That was a horrible Coco hit here. Might as well play out the other bird. Swing in here for 3. So that was about as bad of a Coco hit as we could have hoped. That's fine. We'll take the clue. And we'll take a green mana here. I'm good with getting that draw and then being able to hold up path as well. So their top deck kind of has to be kind to them. Okay. Let's go ahead and crack clue here. So we're getting a little bit lucky here, sort of offsetting our bad Collected Company hit. And that's a really good hit here. And so is that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. So we're gonna play Ramanap. 1, 2. Then we have 4 left. Play our Gavany. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would like to be able to crack here. He can give +2, +0. So that would just be a 3. So let's go ahead and just swing in here with the tracker. Yeah. And then we're going to go ahead and play our Knight of Autumn. That will most definitely help. We have Path. And then... Sorry about that, guys. So we have a couple options. We can either, you know, at the end of turn if we have to Path, or we can use this mana to pump Tracker. And I think we'll just have lethal going over the top here. with Gavany Township next turn. Okay, so he can find an amulet. Okay, he's gonna say an amulet, or that's not gonna do it for him. Okay, and that's, you know, hey, we got lucky. We got very unlucky in the collected company hit, but we got very lucky on him just whiffing, and that's how it goes. So they bring in engineered explosives. So Collector Oof will shut that off. Walking Ballista, they'll have. I'm gonna bring in Damping Spheres just to absolutely shut that down. Take out a Dramoka's command. It's not good enough. Scavenging Ooze doesn't do much. Ramanap's great. Night of Autumn's great. I almost feel like we could just cut the voices altogether. I mean, Courser's not the greatest, but I like being able to siphon through the top of my deck. Sometimes it can get us quicker to like a Ghost Quarter. So we have just straight up shut down hate. We have blow up amulets. This shuts down their engineered explosives. This recurs the lands that we need. This gets the lands that we need, being Ghost Quarters. Tracker's fine. It's a good grind card. I think we do just take out the voices. The question is, do we bring any of this in? Mainly like a decay. I don't think so. I think we run it like this. Yeah. This hand's great. I mean, it's slow, but this is what we're looking for. Unfortunately, we don't have a Damping Sphere. This hand might be a little too slow, but I don't think we can pitch, especially now, a hand with Ghost Quarter Knights. The only thing that would make this more amazing is if like this Overgrown Tomb was a Bird of Paradise. Let's go ahead and fetch up Temple Garden here. I mean, I could have played... What do we got, Azusa? No, Tracker. Okay, so he's going really mid-rangey too. The other reason I played out both these fetch lands is we are going to get our Knight to be pretty beefy pretty quick. So now we're just going to start neutering. Okay, there's Azusa. So Ghost Quarter's fine. That's fine too. Now, does he have another untapped land is the question. He does. So no blocks coming in. He can easily swing in and get us for 4 here. The question is, do we want to trade? I don't think we do. I think we'll just take the 4. Yeah, that's fine. Because we're going to start outgrowing him pretty quick here. That's a great hit. But we're not ready for that. So let's play out the other, play out the other knight. Two, three, four. So he has 6 mana. Yeah, let's go ahead and Ghost Quarter this now, because if we do it on his upkeep, he'll tap this and sack a clue for free. The question is, do we want to Ghost Quarter 3, 4, 5? Yeah, let's Ghost Quarter another land here. Four, add 6. Okay, so here comes a Titan. I mean, our knights easily outgrow a Titan. He doesn't have an amulet in play, so I'm not all that worried about it. It would be nice to see a path here. Okay, so Field of the Dead. Get some zombies. Okay. He's going to go incredibly wide here. Let's grow the knights a little bigger. Do we want to get... Blast Zone's not going to do much. The unfortunate thing about Blast Zone is it can't take care of... I don't want to really get a forest here. Main phase Coco, see if it's nice to us or not. It looks very nice. Do we want double knight? So, 1, 2... I think we do, actually. Suva. He is going so incredibly wide. Yeah, I think he's just going to kill us with Field of the Dead triggers. That's something new that I'm not super duper used to. We definitely need Engineer Explosives in the sideboard. Oh man, Bajuka Bog. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. There was really nothing we could do in that spot. Yeah, good old Engineer Explosives. Wonder if Worship is worth bringing in. I don't think so. I don't even know if Collector Oof is worth bringing in as a 3 of anyway. I wonder if one Oof should be an Assassin's Trophy. Well, let's just run it back. So yeah, that's definitely with the Field of the Dead deck. I didn't even think about them running that now. When I was playing against Titan, the Field of the Dead wasn't a thing. This is an easy mulligan. So is this one. Man. I guess we keep. Let's get rid of a Courser. Jeez. So playing lands from the graveyard's important. But we don't have a Ghost Quarter in hand. I would rather probably see a Courser. This is horrible. Yeah, this isn't going to go well. Didn't have any dorks in the starters. We have probably the worst creature in the matchup in our hand. Because this is definitely a deck I don't feel like... I feel like it's a fine matchup. We just have to see our cards. We have 3 Damping Spheres and we just still did not see one. Which is crazy. We mauled, what, 2 or 3 times since we brought him in? I think twice. We still haven't seen him. Cavern. Okay. Tracker. So he can't get to a Titan from this position. Okay, so Ghost Quarter helps off the top. Okay, so he's digging. He could play an Azusa here with a bounce land, which he just got. So he could play a land Azusa, play 2 more lands, but he's still not getting to prime time. So next turn, as tempting as it is to... See, this is another card, though, that I'm not... 2, 3... As tempting as it is to play Tracker and then play Ghost Quarter, I don't think we can. Okay, so we know we know he has Simic Growth Chamber in hand. So from the spot, he basically has, with Castle Garen Brig, he has enough to play Titan next turn because he plays Karoo land, he plays Simic, tap tap, tap Castle for 6, drop Prime Time, do the thing. If I hit Castle, he'll only have 2 mana. No, he would have 3 mana, so he could play Azusa and then drop Prime Time anyway. So I think it's still too risky. It's still too risky to not hold up Path to Exile. But it also... Freaking wish we weren't drawing Collector Oof next turn. So once again, I'm in the same situation. If I Ghost Quarter Castle Garen Brig because I want to, then... Actually, you know what? No, we're just going to pass turn here. Because when he goes to drop Simic Growth Chamber, that's when I would Ghost Quarter it. Okay. So let's Path Azusa. Ghost Quarter this. He's still going to have to bounce a land. Collector Oof is not the draw we wanted to see. Let's put it that way. Damping Sphere is what we want to see. So... let's play it. Make sure I'm... Yeah, okay. I only have 8 minutes. I need to pick it up here. I didn't realize. Okay, so it's just a Titan. There's Field of the Dead. Tell you what, man, Field of the Dead is just like very good in this deck. We have to get rid of that. Got to play a little quicker here. We definitely want that Ghost Quarter off the top, so we're just going to pass turn here. Because I need to get rid of that Field of the Dead. Although he's probably running more than one, I'm assuming. So here's a question. Wonder how many basics he's running. Oh, that makes it. Never mind. I was gonna say I could even start ghost quartering his green sources. Yep, Field of the Dead. Man, Engineered Explosives definitely going in the sideboard for this matchup. 100%. We have no way of dealing with tokens like this. And I know I was running Engineered Explosives in the old build, and that is exactly why. Way too important. Night of Autumn doesn't matter here. Let's go ahead and shuffle it away. Let's just get a basic forest is fine. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. So play an oof. Let's just go ahead and pass turn. Amulet Titan is a phenomenal deck. It's definitely awesome. We can easily tune this deck to beat it. No problem. Okay, double trigger. So we're gonna draw this stupid forest. Be able to block two of these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yeah, no, we're dead. Very, very, very dead. Yep. I'll just draw this just to see what was under my deck. Oop. Can't activate them. My bad. Collector Oof. Alright. That's it, guys. Let's see what we would have drawn. Bird wouldn't have helped. Courser, no. There's a path. Yeah, we didn't have any knights or anything. Alright. So, we got one game out of them. Definitely in the future, we can easily just change our sideboard up, grab a couple engineered explosives. I think we'd be fine. I forgot that Field of the Dead. It's been a while since I've played Modern in any serious capacity, and I forgot that Field of the Dead was a thing that these decks were doing. Same with Valakut and Primetime decks. They're running Field of the Dead. And yeah, we have no way. I actually just overlooked that, even thinking about like Young Pyromancer, things like that, any sort of token strategy. I overlooked. I guess in that case, I could have brought in the Plague Engineers, which actually that would have been. This actually just would have been a decent card anyway to throw in front of a Primeval Titan. I don't know why these weren't brought in. I should have brought them in. And look, maybe the warships there, could have been okay. But definitely engineered explosives will find their way into this sideboard. But I did want to touch on a little bit about the Once Upon a Time. A dude hit me up on YouTube and asked me to maybe try out Once Upon a Time in the deck. So I just kind of wanted to answer that directly. Apart from me really not having an interest in playing with cards that I personally feel are probably under scrutiny of getting banned. I mean, it's just very powerful. We already have Ancient Stirrings, and that's been talked about for a very long time. And now we have Once Upon a Time. And just those two cards combined, I feel like will create, if not have already created, a bit of a problem with pushing green sort of over the edge there in power. So, I just don't want to get used to playing this deck with cards that I'm not going to be able to really play with potentially in the future. So that's my main issue. My second main issue is kind of where do you put them. This gentleman decided, he wanted to maybe cut a path or cut two paths. I think this deck already lacks interaction. That was one of the biggest complaints. That's kind of why I tried to splash into Abzan to get sort of Abrupt Decay's Assassin's Trophies, and I was running the main board for a while. I think we absolutely need our 4-path to Exiles. I think if you cut down any less on the paths, I think you're just going to have a very difficult time. I mean, hell, that's why the one of Dramoka's Command is in here, just to give a little more interaction to what our opponent's doing. Yeah, the engine of the deck is strong when you get it going, and you could put things in there to, like Once Upon a Time, to find those pieces to get that engine moving. But there's so many decks that'll just, walk all over this engine. I mean, we just saw Amulet Titan. Because really, what would Once Upon a Time have done there, right? So, okay, so, the game 2 we had out, for Night of the Reliquaries. And we got them out a little bit too late, and we weren't able to keep him off of Azusa, and we couldn't Ghost Core him out of the game because he had Azusa on board. So there's basically two ways of tackling that deck. The first one is you kill an early Azusa, and slow them down that way, like I tried to do the third game. Unfortunately, the third game, we just didn't see any of kind of like our payoffs, like Night of the Reliquary. So you either kill an early Azusa, or you have a Knight out and you Ghost Quarter their bounce lands, and you have a path to exile for their first Primeval Titan. That's the way that this deck I found has to combat Amulet Titan. Or you have obviously just an early Damping Sphere to slow them down enough to where you can get a Knight out, and still begin taking care of their lands with Night because they're going to find an answer for this. So, once upon a time, sure, it could have found us a Knight of the Reliquary. It could have even maybe found us a Birds of Paradise. But if we're going to use that slot for Path to Exile in a matchup like Amulet Titan, I don't think it's going to go well for us. Because if we hadn't played that tempo play on them where I pathed Azusa with the Simic Growth Chamber trigger on the stack, and then we were able to Ghost Quarter their Simic, if we hadn't made that play, I think we would have been dead long before we were. So I don't think Once Upon a Time in this deck is kind of where we want to be with sort of this value engine that we're going for. With that being said, I don't think it's an amazing card. I just think that card lends itself to more of the combo type decks, like the Devoted Druid combo deck that I'll play as well. I think that's kind of where that card wants to be. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, one thing to note: the new Dryad, where you get to play an additional land, that is a card. I already picked up my playset on pre-release, so that is a card that I will be putting in this deck. And I actually think what I'll do is I'm going to take Night of Autumn. I might remove a Dramoka's Command, and I'll probably remove a Night of Autumn, and I think I'm going to try to run two of them. I think they're going to pair really well with Ramanap Excavator, and if that sort of pairing proves to be awesome, especially with like Courser of Crufix gaining a couple life every turn, etc., I'll probably try to squeeze in three and go heavier on this Ramanap and the new Dryad. So I do agree with you on that. That is something I'm definitely going to be shoving in here. But Once Upon a Time, probably not going to see it on this channel. Maybe you could talk me into it, but I definitely want to hear kind of your thoughts on what I had to say. So hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Punt Factor. Stay tuned for round 3.